just quickly, while I'm in the middle of finishing off this bowl that Whitler's been making, I painted in some ivy patterns onto the top of the bowl. And I've just been putting some oil in, and I wanted to show you just how amazing the oil affects the wood, and it changes the color just like magic. Look at that. It just is amazing how the oil sinks in and makes a beautiful pattern come out in the grains. Look at that. So now I'm gonna oil that. As soon as the paint's finished dried, I'll oil that as well, but I'll oil it about 4 times, because I'll leave it with the oil, it'll soak right the way in, and I'll oil it again, and I'll rub it with the paper towel, and I'll put more oil in until it stops sinking in. So we keep oiling the wood until the oil stops soaking in, and then we just buff off the oil that's sitting on the surface. Just look at that, it's just incredible. I just love how that looks when you put oil onto the bare wood. Alright, so I'll show you again when it's finished. Well, here we are. I just wanted to say hello and welcome to the new subscribers. I hope you've all had a good day today. Where we are in Cardiff in Wales, we've had absolutely fantastic weather this week, and as I'm looking at this now, looking out the window, there is, watch the birds. Can you see the birds out there? No, you can't. You can't see it with this camera, but it's absolutely beautiful, murmuring. A whole bunch of birds flying around and making those beautiful shadows as they turn and weave, and gorgeous. Okay, sorry, distracted momentarily there. I just wanted to show you the bowl. It's finished now, and I will put in a clip after to show as well what it looked like, or maybe you will have seen it already. I might decide to, when I upload it, to put it on first, to show you what it looked like as I was putting the oil on. But this is it finished. Needs at least another 2 soakings of oil as they dry. If it's not dry by the morning, with another 2 soakings of oil, then I'll just have to take it into the shop by the end of the week. But for now, this is what it is, a lovely big dough bowl with some ivy on it. I coloured it today. I wondered if the paint would run with the oil going on, but it hasn't. And underneath as well, and all over, look at those lovely patterns in the wood and the end grains there, the lovely little tiny knots. There are some cracks appearing there on the side, but that hopefully won't get any bigger as I keep oiling it and prevent it from drying out too much. There is such a weight in this. It is really heavy, but I just love such a big bowl. It's great. I really love feeling it as well. It's really good. So that's the bowl I finished today. He finished making it yesterday, and I started pyrographing last night, painted today and oiled, so it'll get another 2 oilings before the morning. So tonight I'm going to work on some of the Welsh ladies, try and get some ready for tomorrow to take into the shop. This is a Christmas one, obviously, so that's just to keep for an example. The ones I will do for now will have obviously daffodils on, and something more colourful maybe, because I did look at some very old photographs of traditional Welsh ladies, very old photographs on the internet, and they did wear all sorts of colours, not just the black and white and the red. So yeah, I will look at those old photographs and do some Welsh ladies with different patterns on for spring, because of course Friday is St. David's Day, so that would be nice to get them in the shop before Friday. I want to show you what also, this was an order, and we're busy working on him. I've pyrographied him ready to paint, and he's going to have a little bumblebee and a sunflower on him. What I've been doing in the garden, I haven't been doing a huge amount since the last video I showed you. I've just put out the pretty flowers along the edge there. If I could afford to get more, I will. So I put the primroses and the crocus out, and that's basically all I've done in the front. I did a bit more in the back, I'll show you that. facing, so by the end of the day the sun sets in the front garden. Okay, so today I also planted out some cyclamen and primroses there and over there in that tub, but I've also finally put up the construction netting over the cabbages, all the brassicas, sorry, because there's lots of different in there. I have got a few little holes like that I need to sew up soon because I spotted a butterfly in the garden on Saturday. That's why Saturday I put up the netting immediately. Let's hope it works okay. I have put canes on the bottom to weigh down, so when I work on it I can just lift it and put the canes on the top so that I can work down the sides. I've also covered the onions, but I have ordered some EnviroMesh because this year I am not going to lose onions to the onion fly. They were really bad last year. They were as bad as the caterpillars. So yeah, this year I'm not losing vegetables. So I've ordered some EnviroMesh that they'll cover this. They'll cover the leeks because the leek moth get in there as well. And I'm going to put some along the back of this trellis, this high, to protect the carrots, because I'm going to put more boxes up here again like this for carrots this year. So I'm going to try it again, but this year with the EnviroMesh, because even though this is like almost 3 foot off the ground, and carrot fly are not supposed to fly higher than 2 foot off the ground, tell them that. I think they start at the top of the slope, which will make this less than 2 feet. So they must fly like torpedoes from the top of that slope, which will make it less than a foot to the height of this. But yeah, so I'm going to be even doubly sure. I'm going to put EnviroMesh around, see if we can get some more protection that way. If I have to, I will make little EnviroMesh barriers at least 2 foot high around canes around each individual pot if I have to, because I don't grow that many carrots here. There isn't much space here to grow carrots, but when I do, I'd like them to be pest free, and I don't use pesticides. I refuse to use pesticides. So there you go. I've also been plotting and planning and thinking that we need to get on with preparing this place for the outdoor cooking area, because we need to be trying it out and testing it out through the summer, ready for winter if we need to use it in the winter, but also just for fun. So I can't wait to get that done. And I've been plotting what I could do with that area there to change that in future, maybe next year. I don't know. I'm still playing with getting some small chickens, because it was the compost I've been buying. I mean, look at that. That was supposed to be well-rotted compost, but it's so fibrous and dry, and it's fine for mulch, but for compost to mix with soil to start seeds off and that, it's just no good. It's really fibrous, nasty stuff. It's no good for mixing with potting soil to start off your seeds and stuff like that. It's just too much. So I'm going to have to step up making my own compost, and I don't think I'll ever be able to make enough compost for this garden. We don't produce enough stuff yet for making enough compost, but if I had chickens as well, then they would also help with the manuring as they go. When I've cleared one lot of crops and I can protect the crops I want to from them with a few little bell cloches while they're in there, then as I clear a bed, they can go in whereas I prepare it for the next stuff, but also use their bedding. But then there's the cost of the birds, because I can only produce so much of their food, whether it be scraps or stuff that's chopped and dropped, or they need grains as well. There's no way we can grow grains here. There's not enough space for grains, so that would be a cost to buy their grains and their grit, because they need grit as well. They might not get enough grit in this garden naturally, and then there's the cost of the bedding as well. but that all would produce compost for us, but it would be a natural system. So I think if I can get something going, if I can figure out those problems and avoid those high costs, that's something I've been pondering on, and I'll keep pondering. I've been avoiding chickens because we're going whole food, plant-based. We won't really be eating the eggs. We could always give somebody else the eggs or sell the eggs to somebody, but I don't know how the law stands with that because of all the food safety rules and stuff. But if they've hatched them, in just a few days, I'm sure I can sell them within those few days, and they still got at least a couple of weeks on the shelf at home, whoever buys them. So I just got to check out what the rules are for that. Otherwise I'll just be giving the eggs away. But I think the chickens are still worth having for the slug control and the manure and the bedding and stuff like that, because really I still don't have any frogs in this garden. Everybody else whose videos I've been watching have got frog spawn in their ponds. I've got nothing yet. So there's no hedgehogs and no frogs around, which is odd because there are a lot of those animals in this area, just not coming here. And we've got brilliant shelter for all of these things, especially under the shed. So why aren't they coming? Is it the cats in the neighborhood? Other animals, the neighbors' animals? Oh well, I don't know. So we'll see anyway. Something for the future to consider, but for this year that we have to get the tasks done that need doing, and I need that cooking area done. I'm going to have to change some things around here with the trellising if I'm going to put the enviromesh there, so I'll sort that out. But there you go. Anyway, I've transplanted the mint that I started off in a jar. It all had lovely healthy roots on it. Lettuces have all been transplanted into bigger pots, and they can just carry on there until I'm finished harvesting them. The microgreens over there in the polystyrene, I'm going to sow some more seeds for a fresh lot to come up next to it. I've got some trays ready for seeds to go in over there, and there's lots more to do. So I shall get on with all of that, and I shall let you know how we get on. And in the meantime, I hope you're enjoying the good weather you have and doing the most you can with it, and I shall get on with the crafting. Speak to you again soon. Bye.